Good Thursday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Joseph Peterson, and let's go on and talk about the weather for your Thursday evening going into your future. We have some stuff that we are going to go on to talk about weather-wise tonight, and hopefully everyone, like I said, has had a fantastic Thursday. And like I said, stuff we're going to talk about, and for the most part, a lot of it being the same, but there are some new stuff. There are some new stuff that we're going to go on and talk about tonight. And if we go and look at what's on tap, mostly dry conditions prevail under that strong high pressure. Gradual warming trend begins late this week, with highs rising up from the upper 60s and 70s today through Friday. Elevated fire weather concerns continue through the weekend and near record early next week. Near records early next week under building mid-level region. And you might be asking, well, new records, what type of records? We're talking about temperature records. So we've been talking about these temperatures next week potentially getting up into the 90s, maybe even the mid to upper 90s. I mean, again, we're just looking at it, but we could potentially see some 90s next week. So we're going to continue to talk about that as well, and that's also going to be a main point of interest. Now, if you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. Right now, we have around a good 6 people that have tuned in, only 2 likes so far, so hit the like button. Also, hit the subscribe button if you're new. 726 trying to get to 800, and share with your friends, your family members, your acquaintances, and people that you don't even talk to regularly because it is free. You won't have to pay a dime. So let's go on and check and see what's going on throughout the entire state of South Carolina first. Well, right now, nice and dry. No rainfall is going on right now, and it's looking like that we're going to have a nice night overall. If we scroll our way out, see what's going on throughout the entire U.S., you see we have some rainfall down here in Florida. We have some rainfall in Texas, even with some rainfall over here in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, some severe weather going on in Kansas. We even have some rainfall in New York, and look over here in the west, definitely looking a lot more active than it was yesterday, with how we have this rainfall going on all the way from California to Oregon through Nevada and the Four Corners area, but a little bit more of the Four Corners area than what we saw last night. Now, what's going on in terms of our cloud cover? Nothing. Cloud cover is completely out of the area, and I went outside probably around like an hour ago or so, and it was completely clear. I did not see a single cloud in the sky, and that's what it's looking like right now throughout the entire state. That's expected. Even if we go throughout tonight, this goes all the way to 4 a.m., all the way to 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Look at this. Clear conditions. We move all the way into 11 a.m., 12 p.m. going into tomorrow afternoon, and again, still nice and clear. We go into tomorrow afternoon, going into tomorrow evening. You start to see some cloud cover from the west starting to move its way in, but for the most part, it's looking like as we move into around 9 p.m. tomorrow night for when I go live, it looks like cloud cover will be trying to move in from the west even more, and by the time you get into like the early morning hours of Saturday, it's even looking like that we could potentially be pretty covered up as we go all the way through into Saturday. Even in a Saturday afternoon, cloud cover seems to try and move its way out a little bit on Saturday afternoon, though. Now, what about for our current temperatures? Right now, we're at 59 in Somerville, 61 Charleston, 62 Beaufort, 63 inside of Hilton Head Island, as well as 60 in Murray's Inlet, 61 Myrtle Beach, 58 in Conway, 59 in Georgetown, and 59 in Orangeburg, 60 Aiken, and 60 in Columbia, 58 Sumter, Florence, 59 Hartsville, as well as 55 in Rock Hill, 55 York, 57 in Gaffney, and even around a good 56 in Spartanburg, 57 in Greenville, 59 Clemson, and 58 in Anderson. Now for our air quality for the most part is looking like that we are majority of us at least are inside the good category. A couple of us are inside the moderate, Greenville, near Anderson, over just to the east of Spartanburg, York, Gaffney, potentially, Rock Hill. But then also down there in the low country, coastal Charleston County is going into the eastern parts of Charleston County. Very southeastern Berkeley County is included in there as well. That is for a moderate in terms of our air quality index. So, not the worst. Definitely not quite unhealthy for sensitive groups yet, but, just watch outside if you are out for a long period of time tonight, if you're in these areas. Now for our low temperatures for tonight, we have around a good 45 in Greenville, 42 Spartanburg, as well as 42 in Rock Hill, 43 in Sharon, 45 in Florence, 45 Camden, 46 in Columbia, Aiken, Barnwell, 47 in Orangeburg, and 49 in Moncks Corner, 48 Walterboro, and 55 in Charleston, 59 Hilton Head Island, and 50 in Georgetown, 51 Myrtle Beach. High temperatures for tomorrow, 78 Greenville, Spartanburg, Anderson, Greenwood, 80 inside of Columbia, 77 Rock Hill, 79 in Camden, 78 Sumter, Florence, 79 Orangeburg, 79 Walterboro, 78 in Moncks Corner, 74 Charleston, 76 in Georgetown, 72 in Myrtle Beach. I mean, definitely a huge increase from what we've been seeing temperature-wise for the past couple of days. And so this will continue on, especially as we get into this weekend and as we go into next week. But high temperatures are definitely on the rise. Rain is not expected. I don't think that anybody's shocked by that. We've been talking about how this drought is ongoing. We've been talking about the fire conditions. We've been talking about just the lack of rainfall this week. And that seems like it's going to continue as we go throughout the next 24 hours, as no rainfall is expected. Now for the crazy score. If you have no idea what the crazy score is, it is a score that we see how active our conditions are throughout the entire state of South Carolina for tonight. And for right now, it's looking like that we're pretty calm right now. We have no cloud cover really present right now. Dry. Winds aren't going to be that high. Low temperatures, maybe a little bit below average, but for the most part, nothing active really at all. Humidity is low, meaning nothing really too muggy. And just overall, just a nice night in general. Just a nice night tonight. The only thing with it is that if you're a warm weather fan, you may not like some of these cooler temperatures, especially if you're in like the 40s up there in the very far upstate. But for the most part, I believe that it's going to be a really nice night tonight. Now, no thunderstorms are expected tonight, tomorrow, or Saturday, so we don't have to worry about that. Fire weather is not expected throughout the next 8 days in terms of significance. Yes, there is like a chance that you may have like a little bit of some fire concerns, like dry conditions, gusty winds, dry from no rainfall, all of that is all, possible. But for right now, looking like that we are in the clear. We're in the clear for right now. Now for excessive rainfall is definitely not going to be a concern either, so we can just go on and push that off to the side as well. So let's go on now and look at our models. When I say the models, I'm talking about the short-term future first, then we'll go on and look at the long-term future. But we're going to start off here at 9 p.m. first. And as you go on and push this forward in the short-term first, and as we push this all the way through Friday dry, Saturday dry, no rainfall throughout the next 48 hours throughout the entire state. That is a continuation that no one should be shocked about. But with, that out of the way, because, there's not too much to talk about there, what about for our long term? Well, let me just show you. We go throughout this weekend. No precipitation. Okay. Go throughout Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, still no rainfall. Thursday, maybe some rainfall later next week. Thursday, about like a full-on week out from now at this point. Friday comes along, some more rainfall definitely is possible. Next weekend, no rainfall. Going to Sunday, going into Monday of the week after next week. And I know we're getting in the 300-hour mark, but I want you to notice the pattern here, and that is rainfall is not going to be abundant as we continue throughout the next 300 to 400 hours. That's just going to be the case. That's just going to be what it is. We've seen models saying that, it's not going to be much at all, and honestly, the majority of them are saying it. I've seen people online as well saying, looking at different types of models, all that kind of stuff, saying we're just not going to continue to see the amount of rainfall that we need. And I've already heard talk about the drought. I tried to avoid the drought as much as I could, but people were posting it everywhere just because of the lack of rainfall. So everybody was posting the drought monitor update today. And so I had to just close out of everything and just had to wait until tonight, because obviously I give my prediction as well. So I know people are out there posting it everywhere, so I'm assuming that something is going on with it. Again, we'll see what happens, but I don't know yet. But just as we continue throughout the next 300 to 400 hours, like as I said, you're not seeing much precipitation. What about, how much rainfall we're going to see just in total, according to the deterministic model? Shows a good amount, maybe around like a half an inch. That's about it, though. Nothing else. 0.2 of an inch. Columbia, 0.3 of an inch in Charleston, 1/10 of an inch inside of Augusta, half an inch, Greenville, Spartanburg. That's about it, though. As we go throughout the next 300 to 400 hours, which, I mean, if you're saying, oh, half an inch of rainfall, that's definitely a good amount. Throughout 300 to 400 hours, that is not a lot at all. So we want more than that. If we want to see this drought get out of here, we need to see more rainfall. We need to see the rainfall like you see up there inside of Arkansas, inside of Tennessee. They're getting 3, 2, 3, 4 inches of rainfall. I even see a spot over here with 5. I mean, like I said, we don't wish for flooding over here or anything like that. But if we want to really see this drought get out, we need to be getting this rainfall over here. But we've just been put in, and I actually have my pen right here. I mean, let me go on and just zoom out real quick and just show you the entire U.S. and just show you how this thing is playing out. This ridge that's over us right now, it's bringing this rainfall to this entire area over here. This entire area over here has its rainfall. Let me change to a new color real quick. Entire area right here getting their rainfall. So, they're looking good. They have their stuff down, and they're going to be getting rainfall. But then, by time you go on and you just look down here towards the southeast, this is what you see. A huge amount of just no rainfall. And even down there, if you look in very southern Mississippi, very southern Alabama, very western Florida, you're not seeing any rainfall at all. I mean, you're not even seeing a drop throughout the next 400 hours, which is why there's such a huge drought right now going on in southern Georgia. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say there in terms of the precipitation. I mean, we need rainfall, but it's not going to be anytime soon. Not going to be anytime soon. Now, let's go in and talk about our temperatures. So we're going to start off here tonight, going into tomorrow. Here we are, 2 a.m. on Friday. We're definitely below average in terms of temperatures. But then as we go into tomorrow, tomorrow afternoon, that's when those temperatures start to rise up, obviously. By the time we get into the nighttime hours, it may be a bit cooler than average, but then as you go into the daytime, it's warmer than average. So, really warmer than average. Friday comes along, then we get into Saturday. We're looking 10, 15 degrees above average by the time we get into this weekend. We go into Sunday. Sunday comes along, 10, 15 degrees above average. We go into Monday, still pretty high up. We go into Tuesday. Tuesday comes along, 10, 15 degrees above average. And that continues all the way throughout Wednesday. We're just going to push this forward because it's the same thing all the way through Thursday, through Friday, through Saturday. Look even into the week after next week. You are still seeing high temperatures and high anomalies. I mean, we're seeing 20 degrees above average in parts of the state. By time, not into next week, but the week after next week. Now that continues through Tuesday, through Wednesday of April the 22nd, until finally maybe some cold air tries to move its way through. But it's not going to last too long, according to the long-term models. We'll see how that plays out, though. So the main thing that I wanted to talk about here is not really about the anomalies, because we know it's going to be above average. We talked about this last night. I said that it's going to continue to stay above average temperature-wise, because the models, they were in the past talking about maybe a little bit of a cold air mass trying to move through later April. That's gone. No, models kind of just, at least the GFS, kind of got rid of it. We'll look at the ensembles as well, and we may even look at the European model as well. But as we go on into the actual temperatures themselves, we're talking about high temperatures on Saturday going up into the 70s. We're talking about Sunday, high temperatures going up into the 80s. Monday, going up into the 80s again. Tuesday, where are we at? Back up into the 80s, but this time maybe even the mid-80s. We go all the way through into Wednesday. Wednesday comes along, we're up into the upper 80s now by the time we get into Wednesday. Thursday comes along. What do you see right there in Columbia? That's a 90. That is a 90-degree mark right there. And so 90 degrees are definitely possible by the time we get into next week. And this is more of a midweek type thing, in my opinion. Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday. So, one of those 3 days right there, somebody could possibly hit 90 degrees. And who will it be? We don't know. We'll have to wait till we get a little bit closer. But for right now, I definitely do think that somebody we'll get up to 90 degrees next week. Who will it be? Like I said, don't know. But it can range all the way potentially from the low country all the way up through the Midlands, over into the PD area, over into the upstate. Anybody could see it. Multiple people could see it. So make sure that you are definitely looking at your temperatures Wednesday, going into Thursday as well. Then Friday comes along. We're still talking about some more 90s. This looks more of like a more low country area threat here. But if you continue on, and that continues throughout the weekend still more 90s potentially possible Sunday. And remember, I'm not talking about this weekend, I'm talking about next weekend this is. So, that's pretty much all I have to say here. Make sure that you are aware of this, as definitely hot temperatures are coming up. If you do not want to be outside working in these 90-degree heats, I would definitely get any outside work you need to get done. Get it done this weekend. Get it done before the mid parts of next week, because hot 90-degree temperatures are potentially coming. And so you're not going to have too much time before we may stay in this time frame here. Yes, we will have another cool down come through, maybe try to get us out the 90s a little bit, but for right now, we're still on the way up. We're climbing our way up into the 90s. So if you don't want to be outside working in the 90s, definitely get that outside work done before midweek next week. I honestly just do it before Monday, before Tuesday. Get it done this weekend. Or even get it done tomorrow. Just whenever you have to do. But that's all that I have to say here in terms of our look at our temperatures for the future. So hopefully that covered up everything that we had to talk about. If I go back and look at what's on tap, mostly dry conditions, we talked about that. Gradual warming, elevated fire weather concerns, and near record temperatures early next week. So I think that about covers it. For the most part, the ensembles, I did want to kind of look at that. But for the most part, I already kind of looked at it. It's looking like it's around the same. It's showing a lot of 80s, meaning that it's a good sign if you want to see 90s. But obviously the ensembles is more of a mean. It's not like a full-on deterministic to where it just shows the raw temperatures. This is a mean. This is a mean of members put together, and so you're having multiple situations play out. But it's showing a lot of warm temperatures, and it's not showing it cooling down really anytime soon, all the way through into not this weekend, not next weekend, but the weekend after that. So, we have a long way to go with these warm temperatures, in my opinion. But I think that's about all that I can see here. So let's go on and check out the drought monitor. So obviously, if you have no idea what the drought monitor is, it is a monitor that's put out by the U.S. Drought Monitor that pretty much tells us what's going on with the drought throughout the entire state. Everybody uses it. All meteorologists use it. And it tells us what's going on right now with the drought and how it's affecting us. Now, it updates every Thursday, except for holidays. But every Thursday, it updates us, and it tells us what's going on. So we're going to go on real quick, and I'm going to give you my prediction. Make sure that if you have not voted yet, go on and do so. Right now, 57% says that the drought has expanded. Let me go over the categories. There is a drought going on throughout the state of South Carolina right now. 57% thinks that it has expanded. 14% says that the drought has shrunk or stayed the same. 29% says that the drought is gone and the abnormally dry remains, while 0% says that the drought and the abnormally dry is gone. So there is a couple of optimistic people. Luckily, nobody said that the drought and the abnormally dry is completely gone, because that's definitely not the case. And honestly, people saying that the drought is gone as well, and the abnormally dry remains. The drought is definitely not gone, nor is the abnormally dry really either. Honestly, there may actually be a full-blown area of this drought. There may actually not even be any abnormally dry. It may just all be a drought. But we'll take a look at that. So this is how much rainfall we received over the past week. And you can see for sure, I see like my area down here where we got around that inch of rainfall. I can see it down here in the Tri-County area. I see over here, Sumter, they got around, or not Sumter, but Florence, they got around close to an inch. I see around an inch over here near Conway, near Loris. I see maybe around like an inch and a half over there near Greenville, 7/10 near Anderson. So, we're seeing a good amount, especially even up there in the upstate. So, a good amount of rainfall. good amount of rainfall. My only concern is just the lack of rainfall that we've had just over the past couple of days. That's my only concern with this. I think that for the most part, the rainfall this weekend definitely did help, but just how we have not had any rainfall Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm not quite sure if that would really necessitate a growth or not. So honestly, this is a very hard decision right here for me to make, but I think that I am honestly just gonna have to go. I'm honestly just gonna go with the majority. I want to go with the underdog pick and say that the drought has shrunk. So I stayed the same so badly because only 14% said it. But I think I'm going to be a part of the majority because just a lot of people were talking about it. A lot of people were talking about how no rainfall would be moving through. But obviously, I think the most obvious one, the drought has expanded. So we're going to check it out. And we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to put you over to this screen real quick. And we're going to go on and now check it out. And see and get the drum roll started so we can go on and reveal the answer. Honestly, yeah, that's definitely an expansion. Definitely an expansion. So, the majority gets it today. Majority does indeed get it today, and, honestly, preliminary it looks like that for the most part, but I'm definitely seeing some more areas that are more inside of a drought. I think that the abnormally dry as well also went down a good amount as well. But before we lock it in real quick, let's go on and check and make sure. Let's go on and check and make sure real quick that the majority actually did win. I just want to make sure so I'm not, having anybody feel cheated or anything like that. Let me see. Yeah, here it is right here. Yeah, definitely, 100%. This is the one from last week. You can definitely see, easily you can tell how much of an expansion this was. So the drought is still going on, and it's still getting stronger, and it's only most likely going to get stronger. It's only going to get worse as we continue into the next couple of weeks. But hopefully, we can go on and get some rainfall, if obviously not in the near term, in the long term future. Hopefully by the end portions of April, early parts of May, we get a good dose of it. But right now, like I said, not really too much in the next 300 to 400 hours is really going to knock this thing out. So let's go on and give us, the majority who picked it correctly, a round of applause. So that's all that we have to say here for the Drought Monitor. That's all it is. So let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, well, what I'm talking about is the audience that's here with us in the live chat. If you're watching this on the recording, you can also be a part of the live chat. You just need to be here with us at 9 p.m. and also be here with us as we go into, any night, 9 o'clock p.m. 9 o'clock p.m. And it's, again, free. You just have to be a subscriber. So let's go and check out the live audience. Right now, Mr. Chris says, good evening, everyone. Hope you had a great day. Well, I did. Thank you so much for that. Mount Lewis says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Hopefully, everyone had a great day. I did. Thank you so much for that. Mr. Chris also says, got to around 73 degrees here in Moncks Corner. Currently, it's 60. And then Mount Lewis says our high was 67. Currently, we're at 59. Well, let's go in and check what's going on right now at my house. At my house right now, it's looking like that we are... That's the wrong one. Looks like right now that I am at around 56 right now. My high temperature today was around 71. Now, if we go on and look at more of the chat, Milo says it started off a little nippy this morning. However, we did have some beautiful sunshine. Continuing our way down, Lucy also says it was windy also in Georgetown. Mr. Chris also says, please remember to go and hit the like button and the subscribe button. Also share with everyone that you know. It's free, and it helps the channel grow. Absolutely. Right now, let's go ahead and check this out, because I know I went on a bit of a, I went a bit off yesterday, because I was looking just at the likes, and I saw about, we had about 25 people tune in, and we had, 7, 8 likes? That was it. So let's go on real quick and check it out and see how many people we've had watching so far. And I hate this YouTube glitch. It's so bad because once I click something, it just makes everything freeze. It's a YouTube glitch that they need to fix. But so far, it says currently we have around 9, but that does not account everybody who has tuned in tonight. So 9 people are watching currently, and we only have 7 likes. So go hit the like button if you have not already. And again, that does not account for everybody that has tuned in for tonight. But continue our way down. My Aunt Lewis says, I'm looking forward to some great weekend weather. Absolutely. My Nana says, hello, Jay and all. Hello to you. Then Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. My Aunt Lewis says, yes, it is a big difference from the weather we've been getting. Mr. Chris says, I agree. And then, let me go in and pull this up on another page because YouTube is messing up badly. Dismiss. Oh, it's back. Okay, we're good. Okay. It says, Dad says, like and subscribe, please, and thank you. Also, please share. Absolutely. Thad says, good evening, just from the 360 Weather family. I trust all is well. All is well with me. And then my cousin Cheryl comes in and says, good evening, Weatherman. Hope all is well. Hope everyone had a great day today. Keep up the good work. God bless you all on purpose. Have a blessed night. Well, thank you so much for that. Thank you for tuning in. Thad says it was a fantastic day here in San Antonio. We managed to squeeze in a light drizzle. Hopefully we can get some good rain. I know some rainfall potentially coming for you tonight and definitely probably tomorrow. Continue our way down. My Aunt Lewis says hopefully we'll get some rain to help out with this drought. Well, for right now, not really. Trail says greetings everyone. Thad says Trail says greetings everyone, greeting to you. Thad says we enjoyed a high of around 82, beautiful breeze and plenty of sunshine. The pollen is disappearing so that it makes being outside that much better. Well, I'm glad that pollen is finally getting out of there. Continue our way down. Thad says I'm looking forward to spending some time outside this weekend with family. That's fantastic. It looks like rain is definitely in the forecast for the next few days, so that is truly a blessing, absolutely. Looks good for Columbia. Milo says, when it gets too hot, I get up early. To work inside of the garden. Well, honestly, I mean, I don't really blame you. Obviously, when I get up, I have to cut grass too. So, usually I get up around, when I did like in the summertime, around like 7:30, 8 o'clock, I'd get up and get that done before it got too hot. I'd be done by around like 10, 11 o'clock, pretty big yard. But I mean, it was honestly, it was definitely worth getting up early for though. Then as we continue our way down, that's I finally got it right. Congratulations to you. My Aunt Lewis says, yes, I did get it right, even though it's not a good thing. Absolutely not. Mr. Chris says, I just pray that it doesn't get as bad as when the lake was drained. We may need to do a rain dance to get some rain, possibly. And then Thad says, yeah, I agree, the drought is not great. I've been living in a drought here in Texas for years. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the drought over there in San Antonio, every time I look at it, there's just always some sort of drought, some sort of abnormally dry going on over there, and it's just never really too getting too better. If I was to say so myself, even if we go and look at the drought right now, look at current. I might have to do this on the weather. Oh, no, there it goes right there. Look down there in Texas. You can already kind of see how down there where you are inside of a D3, an extreme drought right now. So you definitely need the rainfall just as much as we do. And that's all that I can see here throughout the chat for tonight. Pretty big chat for tonight, so I am appreciative of everybody who did type. If you didn't type, you still have time. Also, 35 people have tuned in tonight. 35 people have tuned in tonight, and we only have 7 likes. Hold on, where is it at? There we go. 35 people have tuned in, and we only have 7 likes. If you are a part of that group that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. That is 28 people who have not hit the like button. So go on and do so. It is free. You will not have to pay a dime for it at all. There's more people watching right now than there are likes, so you can go on and hit it. So let's go on and talk about the 4 areas outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, 4 areas, what am I talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly, and because they tune in almost nightly, we go in and talk about their weather for them. So starting off with San Antonio, Texas, you have low temperatures tonight at around 66, high temperatures for tomorrow at 80, low temperatures tomorrow night at 67. Chance of thunderstorms tonight. Showers are also likely tomorrow, and there also is a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow night as well. So, honestly, like I said, like you said, active conditions as we go into, or as you go into, just the next couple of days going into this weekend. And so if you go on and look at your severe weather, excessive rainfall, I do remember that you had a slight risk that was very close near you. Very, very close. As that is now pretty much it's still there for Sunday. So make sure that you are aware of that for Sunday, April the 12th, 2026. You are right there next to a slight risk of severe weather, so make sure that you are aware you have your plans in place just in case. If worse does go to worse and a severe thunderstorm warning happens, a tornado warning, no matter what happens, just make sure that you are prepared for it. Then in terms of your future, it looks like that temperatures are going to continue to kind of level out in the high 70s, low 80s, but then it will try to rise right back up by the time you get into the midweek of next week, getting into the mid 80s. That's all that I can pretty much see, just rainfall continuing as you go all the way through next week. I think every day except for Monday, you have a chance of rainfall. So it's going to be active for you, very active. Now, what about for Raleigh? You have low temperatures tonight at 40, high temperature for tomorrow at 70, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 50. Precipitation not expected. There will be some patchy fog tonight, and there will be some fog definitely tomorrow morning. Definitely tomorrow morning. And honestly, for the most part, I do believe that as you just go in and look into your future, it's not really going to be too active. I mean, severe weather, not really expected at this time. Excessive rainfall, not really expected at this time either. So, for you, I just say, well, just go on and definitely enjoy the outdoors even as you go into the future. I mean, you're talking about temperatures for you kind of staying in the 80s as you go into next week. You go all the way into Wednesday. We're talking about 90s next week. So definitely enjoy the time outside, but definitely hope for the rainfall. Now, nothing really too much to really talk about there. So let's go on and move over into Philadelphia. That being with low temperatures tonight at around 40, high temperature for tomorrow at around 70, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at around 50. No precipitation is expected. You also have a chance for some fog tomorrow. I think Raleigh's a bit less, though. I think Raleigh's definitely significantly less. I think you actually have a pretty good chance of seeing fog tomorrow over there in Philadelphia tonight going into tomorrow. And then for your future, obviously no severe weather, no excessive rainfall for you either. And it does look like that you will continue to go on and just see nice conditions as you continue throughout the next 7 days. No rainfall. Temperatures are going to stay up into the 80s, maybe even reaching 90 in Philadelphia. So definitely some abnormal heat definitely going on up there. And then finally for Duncan, Oklahoma, you have low temperatures tonight at 60, high temperature for tomorrow at 80, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 60 as well. Precipitation not expected until like this weekend. We're talking about some active conditions this weekend, and then by the time you go into next week, still active conditions are definitely going to be an issue. Now for you, honestly, Duncan is definitely the most active area, and I'll explain why. You have a slight risk of severe weather for Sunday. You have a slight risk of severe weather for Monday. You have a slight risk of severe weather for Tuesday. Let's see, what else do you have? You also have a slight risk of excessive rainfall on Saturday. You have a marginal risk of excessive rainfall on Sunday. So, just screaming active. You have a chance of rainfall pretty much every day as you go into the next 7 days or so, maybe except for Monday. But Monday night, 30% chance of showers and storms. And those could potentially be pretty active as well. Pretty active. And temperatures also going to kind of stay in the 80s a little bit, maybe get into the mid 80s by the time you get into next week. But for right now, kind of just staying in that 80s and 70 range. May also be a bit breezy, not only tonight, but tomorrow as well. So make sure that you are aware of all that. Severe weather train is coming for you, not only like I said for Sunday, but for Monday, Tuesday, maybe even Saturday. Saturday, you're right on the border of a marginal risk, so you're pretty close already. And also flash flooding. And that's all that I can see here throughout the 4 areas. So let's go on and see what's going on throughout the entire U.S. weather news wise. Well, right now it does look like a storm system near the Hawaiian Islands is expected to bring periods of heavy rainfall, strong winds, and isolated strong to severe thunderstorms through Friday. Several rounds of severe thunderstorms are also forecasted to impact parts of the Great Plains into the Midwest this weekend into next week. Moderate to heavy rainfall and high elevation snow is also expected this weekend over California and Oregon. You will obviously see the main thing that people are talking about right now, the main thing that the main meteorologists are talking about, is not only the drought and the fire conditions going on, but also the severe weather risks. There are obviously severe weather risks that are going on right now. Actually, as we speak throughout Kansas. But, I mean, like I said about Duncan, a severe weather train is coming. Definitely is. Tomorrow, I mean, there's already a marginal risk of severe weather for northern Oklahoma, southern Kansas. Going into day 3, there's a slight risk down there for Lubbock, Midland, Odessa, Texas, San Angelo. Marginal risk for Omaha, Lincoln, Abilene, Wichita Falls. And we're still not done. Day 4, this is Sunday. Dallas, Austin, Fort Worth, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Wichita, Kansas. These areas have a chance for severe weather on Sunday. Monday, from Minneapolis down into Sioux Falls, down to Des Moines, to Omaha, to Lincoln, Nebraska, all the way down through Kansas City, Springfield, Missouri, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Fort Worth. These areas, again, have a chance of severe weather on Monday. Tuesday, we're still not done. Chicago, Dallas, Fort Worth again, Milwaukee, Oklahoma City, going down to Waco, over into Fort Wayne, Indiana, Peoria, Illinois, Kansas City again. Des Moines is in there again. Tulsa's in there again. Austin's included in there. Those areas have a chance for severe weather going into Tuesday. Wednesday comes along. Chicago, Dallas, again, Austin, Memphis, Fort Worth, and it's just continuing to move its way east and east day by day. But some of these same areas that you're hearing, Chicago, Dallas, Kansas City, Oklahoma City, Little Rock's included in there this one. Memphis is included for Wednesday as well. And it's going to continue to just stay active. So there's going to be a lot of things that we hear next week in terms of this severe weather. And I think that we definitely need to be hoping, praying for the best for them over there. As that's going to be just a long couple of days. Long couple of days over there in the central U.S. But while they're receiving that, yeah, they do get the rainfall. We do need the rainfall, so I would love to have some of that rainfall, but they have to go through the severe weather portion of it as well, which is not great at all. But that's all that I have to say here in terms of the entire U.S. So let's go in and check out the top fans of the night for tonight. Right now, it seems like that it's around the same. Miss Chris was up there, Thad was up there, Maya Lou was up there, and really was just them 3, I believe. So let's go ahead and count them up. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then just to make sure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it was pretty close. It was pretty close on all fronts. It was pretty close on all fronts. But my Aunt Lula did get number 1 for tonight. And just to make sure, 11, yeah. So just to make sure, Mr. Chris got number 2 and then Thad got number 3. So congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans of the night for tonight. If you want to be a part of the top fans, again, you can. Joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m., being a subscriber, also being here early and being active. If you do all of those, you most likely will be a part of the top 1. You most likely will win. But if you do that, you're guaranteed to most likely get in the top 3. So let's go on now I don't think I have anything in my email. If you want to go in and send me something, you can. Send it to scweather360@gmail.com or getting me on Twitter at 360_weather, adding me on there. And then also, I don't think that's about. I think that's about it. So let me end this real quick. Miles says Philly finally got warmer after my grandson is back in Tampa. And then Mr. Chris says my dad is going to go through it in Oklahoma. Well, yeah, hopefully he is all right as we continue throughout the next couple of days. Make sure that he is aware of all of the threats that are going on. And I believe that is all that I have to say here for tonight. So make sure that you tune in tomorrow morning for your Friday morning forecast update. Also tomorrow evening for your Friday evening forecast update. We've had 40 people tune in and only 9 likes. 40 people, 31 people did not hit the like button tonight. Very sad. Very, very sad. But we're going to keep going. We're going to keep pushing for it. So make sure, like I said, if you have not hit the like button, go in and do so. I will be back tomorrow morning. Make sure that you're there and make sure you hit those 2 buttons before you leave.